Jay Higgins, what's up? Shot Killings, what's up? Hit that like button on the way in, please, people. So the algorithm can algorithmize. Quite the morning. Friday, it was hot as shit. You know, in the 90s. Yesterday, it was kind of cool, kind of warm. Now we got the overcast. My front camera don't work, so I can't show you guys any more in depth, but you get the point. But this is typical spring weather in California. No lines in the sky, not today. No trails. A bit of a reprieve from that. You know what I'm saying? Blue skies above the clouds. So what's good, y'all? Good morning, folkers. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Tyrant's Bane. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy. It is Sunday. What's up, folkers? Damn it. Lost all my people. Where my folkers at? Whew. Oh, I'm doing a live stream right now. Yeah. Jay Higgins, Anarchy Television, was good. How y'all doing? The Habakai was good. Yeah. What's going on in India, yo? Like, you know what's interesting? They're talking about the cases, right? They keep talking about the cases going up, right? And all these records, all these new records, right? The other day, they said over 500,000 people, or 500,000 new cases in one day. But they don't really go into detail, as far as I know, about how many people are hospitalized. You know, they keep saying the hospitals are overwhelmed, this, that, and the third. They're saying all that, but no one's talking about the deaths, right? I haven't heard anything about the death toll. I just keep hearing, oh, well, 500,000 new cases here, all these records of new cases. And you would think, you know, that if the deaths were that skyrocketing and overwhelming, they would bring it up and they would sensationalize that and highlight that and make the new cases more secondary. But I haven't seen that. I've seen 300K. I mean, look how many deaths we have. Over 500. We gotta understand. Well, as far as they're saying it's over 500. Y'all know how I feel about those numbers. But, and remember, we have yet to reach 600K. We've been at 500 for like 4 months. But anyway, you got to remember, India has over 1 billion people. So relative to the number of people they have in their country, 300K compared to the United States, which has less than half the population, not nearly as bad as the US, if you believe the numbers. So what's really going on out there? Why this huge focus on India? What's really going on in India? Black Spring with Autumn was good. 4,000 dying per day? Well, from what though? Again, I have to be, I don't know, I can't tell you guys what you have to be, but I have to be very leery about the numbers they put out. Yes, thank you, Black Spring with Autumn. If you guys want to support the channel, I got a book for sale on Amazon, yo. The Seeds of Dark Matter Disease. The link is in the chat. But yeah, what's really going on in India? Over 1 billion people, right? Most of them already don't live in the most optimal conditions. So what's really going on? Well, I'll tell you what the experts believe, right? So when the hokey pokey started rolling out in India, according to the news and according to the experts, India started relaxing their restrictions. They started relaxing the restrictions, and they're saying this is what caused the boom in cases, right? So my question would be, how many people in India got the hokey pokey, right? How many people in India got the hokey pokey? How many people in India got the hokey pokey and turned themselves around? That's the question of the day. They started rolling out the hokey pokeys, but the cases started increasing. But you're saying it's because of the relaxation of the restrictions. When in reality, the people that were getting the hokey pokey the most were the ones who were following the guidelines, that were following the restrictions, that actually stayed in the house, wore the face flags all the time. I gave you guys those statistics, and I gave you a source to that report, right, from the CDC that showed that 71% of those hospitalized with the hokey pokey, with the Modelo 19, always wore a face flag. And what was it? 4% never wore a face flag for those who contracted the Modelo 19. So, and also in New York, remember the report from New York, where over 80%, oh wait, no, over 90%, I believe. I don't remember those numbers, but I did a video on that as well and left a link to the source material. But anyway, I believe over 90% of the people hospitalized for Modelo 19 in New York stayed in the house all the time. 2% were homeless, right? 2% were homeless people. And I think about 6% were out and about, going to work, going outside, exercising, you know what I'm saying, all that. So what's really going on here? What's really going on with that? was what's different in India? What's so different between the United States and India that when they relax restrictions, their cases go up, but when we relax ours, it goes down? Is it because so much land and water separates us that the only thing we have to go by is what they report on the news? Or are Indians, you know, are they like, do they have different, is their DNA structure so different that, you know, it would be the reverse of what's going on out here? And how do these people know? How do these people know that they're getting this Modelo 19 when it's never been isolated, purified, and visualized, right? How could they know that? I don't know, man. But India is very strange. I thought it was very interesting what's going on in India. A couple months back, though, India was having millions of people collapsing due to unknown circumstances, which wasn't due to night. Oh yeah, I didn't know anything about that. So what happened with that? You said that people were falling out in the street. Millions of people collapsing. That's interesting. I didn't know about that. Yeah, India is very strange. Very strange what's going on in India. And why not China? Why isn't it going on in China? Why isn't China seeing record numbers? Or is it that, you know, they're very quiet about what they're going to report? Because remember, China is the epicenter of the Modelo 19, right? It's supposed to be. So, you know, but we know what they did to contain the virus on their end. We know what they did. They were locking people in their homes, you know, spraying people down with disinfectant from hoses. They did a lot of wild shit in China, man. Shouting at Cloud says it's easy to internet search to see the death toll in India on a yearly basis. It's not going on in China because they're communists already. Exactly. So what's the normal amount of deaths in India each year? That's what I want to know. Because there were states out here in the United States that didn't shut down at all, right? Like South Dakota, they hated Governor Abbott. Or I forgot her name. Is it Governor Abbott? What's her name? The governor of South Dakota. She never shut her shit down. And, you know, she didn't have cases like that. And when she did have a little spike, it didn't spike nearly as much as they thought it was going to spike. They thought it was going to spike through the roof. They thought they were going to have a higher rate, you know, of cases and deaths than any other state because they didn't restrict. But that didn't happen. Not even close. And in Florida, you can compare Florida more readily to India, right? Because Florida has a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? South Dakota doesn't have nearly as many people as Florida. So Florida is like heavily populated. So if you compare it, Florida relaxed their restrictions a long time ago. Like right before the Modelo 19 Hokey Pokey came out. So, and they didn't have any issues. You know what I mean? But somehow India relaxed their restrictions after receiving the Hokey Pokey. So you would think, okay, India got the Hokey Pokey. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to work, right? If the Hokey Pokey works so well, why is India going so bad right now? I'll tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you what they're telling you. Well, it's not only the restrictions, right? Relaxing the restrictions, they're gonna tell you. It's also the variants, the different variants of the Modelo 19 that they're saying is like resistant to the hokey pokey. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's just like the flu, right? When you get the flu hokey pokey, you don't know which strain is coming out. It's going to be the most dominant. So when they give you the hokey pokey for the flu, you don't even know if it's going to work. Marcy T was good. You guys, last time I did a Ruckin' Live with you guys, I was struggling. You know what I'm saying? I struggled to do four laps. But last Sunday I came up here and you guys I didn't do a live with you guys, but I came up here and did a ruck and I did my 6 with no problem. So I'm back in the groove, you know what I mean? It's that muscle memory. I'm a little busy right now, but I will post a death in India over the past 5 years for comparison in your comment section. That's what's up. Yeah, if you're out of shape, you know, you guys gotta get out there, man. So you don't have to go as hard as I'm going, right? You can start off slow. You can walk for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Walk for an hour and you'll improve your cardiovascular strength, your endurance, your stamina. You know what I'm saying? Do some resistance exercises. You want to get those in. It's been cold. Layer up. You know what I'm saying? Put on some layers. Go out there. You know, walk in the woods. Just gotta get out there and go. Gotta get out there and move. You know what I'm saying? If it's raining, put on a raincoat. You know, if it's snowing, you know, wear a parka, whatever. Get it in where you can. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even at the house, in the garage. Get in the garage and, you know, do some calisthenic work. I don't know. Just, you gotta find ways to get your shit together. But, you know, looking at these India numbers, right? Because I did a video yesterday where I left a link to a Johns Hopkins report, right? About a lot of things having to do with vaccines and Modelo 19, but there was a particular section in there talking about self-spreading hokey pokeys. There's C. Williams, what's good? 100 push-ups, 100 burpees, done. Cleaning now, late to the party. But greetings to Snapzilla Gorilla, listening to you live in YouTube in Philadelphia. That's what's up, Derek. Derek's in the house. Oh, I gotta mod you up, man. Let's see. Boom, simple as that. So for you, YouTube content creators, you can mod people up from your phone if you're doing a live stream. All you gotta do is click on their name and it'll give you the option. But, what am I talking about? Oh, I showed a report. I gave the report of a paper from Johns Hopkins. You know what I mean? I left a link to a document in there that talked about self-spreading hokey pokeys and how, you know, it acts as the disease, you know, would by passing amongst the people, right? Spreading among the people, except it infers defense. That's what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Instead of making you sick, it's supposed to help you defend against the sickness. But I tell y'all, man, is that what it's really gonna do? Is that what it's really going to do? Is it really going to be a defensive mechanism? Or is it going to do something else? Well, if you've been following my channel, you know where I would stand on that. I believe, is going to do more harm than good. Because, you know, it's already doing enough harm, right? And we still don't know the long-term effects. Because remember, it has not been tested for impairment of fertility, mutagenic potential, and carcinogenic potential. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen to these people a year or two from now. The ones that have taken the hokey pokey. Now, am I anti-hokey pokey? Yes, for myself and my family and those that I care about. But if people want to go ahead and get the hokey pokey, you know, that's on them. Hopefully they come out all right. 2 days after, 3 weeks after, a month after, a year after. I ain't gonna wish no harm on them. But now that I'm thinking about it, now that I've read about the self-spreading hokey pokey, I'm thinking, if you get the hokey pokey, stay the fuck away from me. I'd rather be around people who have already had the Modelo 19 and got over it than the people that got the hokey pokey. And so I talked about the Lintner School yesterday with Charlemagne the Devil. And man, she was on point. She was right on point. She knows something. She understands something beyond what the public knows. Most of the public. She probably read something about self-spreading hokey pokeys and thought that, you know, the Modelo 19 hokey pokey would be a self-spreading hokey pokey. So she said, nah, bump that. But you have to understand, hokey pokeys are essentially self-spreading anyway, because what they're doing is they're putting like that thing inside of you for your body to fight. But it's supposed to be like a weakened version. But how do we know that? How do we know that? People get really sick after getting those hokey pokeys, man. And I'm just talking about the flu. Last time I had a flu hokey pokey, I was in the Army. And it knocked me on my ass for a whole week. I thought I was about to die. You know what I'm saying? And then my bunkmate got sick too. But he hadn't gotten his hokey pokey. So, did he get it from me? Don't know. But the owner of the Lintner School, right? That's a smart woman. Charlemagne the God tried to make her look stupid, but he made himself look stupid. You know why? Because he said he himself was not a fan of the hokey pokey. He was not going to get the hokey pokey. So what the hell are you giving her donkey of the day for? What kind of shit is that? You're gonna give her donkey of the day for not believing in the hokey pokey, like you don't believe in the hokey pokey, because other businesses are requiring you to have the hokey pokey to participate with them. That's ass backwards, yo. Now, those businesses can do what they want. They're privately owned businesses. Hey, if they want to require a hokey pokey, that's on them. You know, I just will not be patronizing that business. Simple as that. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Let's see. Two-year-old dies from experimental hokey pokey. All right, Derek C. Williams left the link in the description in regards to a 2-year-old who died. Let me ask y'all something. Parents out there, why are you giving your children these chemical cocktails? at such a young age. I know that's what they tell you to do at the hospital, right? Oh, you got to get, you got to get this. You got to get hepatitis B vaccine. Hokey pokey, I mean. You got to get this hokey pokey. You got to get that hokey pokey. But hepatitis B, like, what is a newborn? How are they going to get hep? You understand? Which is essentially a sexually transmitted disease. How are they going to get that? How are they going to get that as a 2-year-old? What are we talking about? Why are you giving your children? Why are you allowing these doctors to inject your newborn babies, your toddlers, your infants? Why are you allowing them to put these chemical cocktails into your children's system, directly into the bloodstream, bypassing all the other barriers to diseases that your body has? Huh? Your mouth, the saliva in your mouth breaks down food, but it does break down food like carbohydrates, right? That's what your saliva does. That's where your carbohydrates start to get broken down in the saliva. But anyway, it also breaks down a lot of other things. Your body is equipped to handle things in a certain way, right? It's equipped to deal with certain contaminants and foreign bodies in a certain way. You just have to make sure your immune system is on point, that it's equipped, right? You want your immune system to exercise its Second Amendment rights. You understand? Perfect analogy, perfect comparison. You know why? Because not only are they trying to restrict your Second Amendment rights, well, not your second, I hate that. Not your Second Amendment rights. The rights protected by the Second Amendment. They're trying to restrict those, but they're also trying to restrict the rights of your immune system keeping bear arms by forcing you to by trying to force you to get these hokey pokeys to participate in society. You know what I mean? Your body needs all the tools it can get to fight this thing, to fight any contamination, not just the Modelo 19, which, you know, to me, you know how I feel about viruses, right? I explained that to y'all before. You know, you have viruses that are endemic, that are endogenous to your body. I don't know if I explained it before, but some of y'all might not have heard this. And this is a fact that you can look up. Tina Harmon in the house was good. They get population down under 500 million. Yeah, you know what's funny though? In India, all these cases are occurring, but I'm not hearing anything about the deaths. Like how many deaths are happening, right? I mean, somebody said in the comment section, 3,000, but like 3,000 a day. At one point though, right here in the United States, we had that average in the summertime, right? Remember that last year? They were telling us that we had that average, you know, about 3,000 a day for a period. So, I mean, like I said, we have a much smaller population in India. Oh, hey, Deuce was good. So yeah, man, like, let me set my lap. No way. 53 minutes. Oh well. Anyway, so India has much. Anyway, like I was saying, man, when I read those when I read that Johns Hopkins paper, and then when I hear about this India stuff, I'm thinking, do I put two and two together and get four there, right? When they talk about the self-spreading hokey pokeys, the self-spreading hokey pokeys, and the fact that India is after they get the hokey pokey rolled out in India, their cases started surging. So I don't know. I'm thinking, self-spreading hokey pokeys in India. You know what I'm saying? Is that an experiment that they're doing? Are they testing it out in India? I don't know, man. Are they testing out this self-spreading hokey pokey in India? That's the question I have. Oh, like I was saying, viruses. You have indigenous endogenic viruses where, especially like in your stomach lining, not your stomach lining, my bad. The mucous membrane in your gut, right? You have viruses in the mucous membrane of your intestines that keep the bacteria in check, right? So let's say bacteria tries to get out through the mucous membrane in your gut. The viruses in your mucous membrane attacks the bacteria and destroys it, and then multiplies itself, right? It multiplies itself after destroying that bacteria because it's like, okay, we're on alert now because we have, a enemy trying to breach into the bloodstream. So you got viruses there, which they call bacteriophages, that fight those bacteria back, keep them in check. So, we all know viruses aren't living things. They're more like drones. They're drones, and I'm speaking specifically about the bacteriophages in your gut. They're like drones that have specific instructions, and they carry out those instructions, and that's all they do. They don't have a purpose other than that, right? They don't have ambition. They don't get hungry. You know what I'm saying? They get their energy from the bacteria. That's how they multiply. They don't reproduce. They multiply by going into the bacteria and replicating itself using the bacteria's fucking bullshit, the DNA and all that. So you're talking about drones, machines, nano machines that work to keep you safe, that keep you, that help keep you from getting sick. So that's a whole nother process that your body has to fight infection. But what they're doing is what they're doing with this hokey pokey is they're putting it right in your bloodstream, but it's not really a hokey pokey. It's more like, what they call, good morning, an operating system or some software, you know what I mean? An app. They call it an app. It's an application. So this is not, understand this, guys. They're not putting viruses in you. They're putting software. They're putting code into your body to write to instructions to your DNA. That's what they're doing. Understand that. So they can have, just like viruses use cells and bacteria to write instructions to create more of them, and then they create more, and then it overwhelms your cell, or it overwhelms the bacteria and destroys it. That's what they're doing with this hokey pokey, right? This hokey pokey is writing instructions to create the spike protein for your body to fight. And of course you need an adjuvant to attract your immune system to it. But how do we know that that's what it's really doing? We're just gonna trust them? How do we know that there aren't other instructions being given to this thing? Maybe to keep your body from creating platelets in your blood? Maybe to give instructions to your cells to clot in the brain and shit. But maybe that has something to do. Maybe some people are giving those instructions. How do we know? How do we know? In a fiction novel, of course. Yeah, India has 1 point some billion people. VAERS statistics come out. This is what Derek Williams says. VAERS statistics come out every Friday, and the numbers are going parabolic. Every adverse reaction and then some are being reported. Let's see, the Disneyland measles outbreak started from workers who were hokey pokey. Yep, most of the strain. I did a video on that too. The majority of the people that got sick from the measles in that Disneyland outbreak had the hokey pokey strain. Self-spreading hokey pokeys. So that's what I was saying. Like before, it happened, but self-spreading hokey pokeys have been around. You know what I'm saying? Based on that Disneyland experiment. That's what I call it, a Disneyland experiment. They say it's mutated stronger because it's been all the weak and elderly, and it's immune. Anyway, Jesus. I have like a sixth sense and a radar that goes directly to that type of thing. But anyway. And it's immune drugs, and they used it, and it's stronger. Man, they're gonna tell you anything to make you believe that the Mandela 19 is this ravaging disease. Tina, the virus is and will survive and come back stronger. The death toll in India is 7%. That's better than most Africa. Well, that's interesting. Confirmed. The former Moderna, Derek Williams says confirmed, the former Moderna chief medical officer said that they were hacking the software of life. Exactly. Tal Zaks is his name. Yeah. Software of life. Hacking. When you hack something, you're going into the code and you're gaining access to things you shouldn't have access to. And you're making it do what you want it to do. So, being that our bodies create these viruses, right? Particularly the bacteriophages in your gut. Who's to say that it doesn't create other types of viruses? Which it does. I've done a presentation on that as well. Your body creates viruses as well. So, and what they call exosomes. Some people think exosomes and viruses are the same thing. So, excuse me. So this is the thing, y'all. When your body creates these viruses, now this is part of a book that I'm writing. It's fiction. All right, so this is fiction. I'm just running an idea by you guys, okay? When your body senses something, an invader, it sends these exosomes / viruses out to clean up the cell, right, that's been contaminated or infected. So it's not necessarily attacking the disease itself. In some cases, much like, because when you think about the stomach lining or the mucous membrane where those bacteriophages are, it's attacking the bacteria, right? To replicate itself and destroy it. It does the same thing with contaminated cells, except they don't go into the cell. They come out, right? Think about that. I showed you guys as well. I don't know if all you guys saw it, but in one of my presentations a while ago, when this Modelo 19 thing really started hitting, you know, They had pictures of the electrocardiogram. What am I talking about? The electron microscope bullshit. Pictures of the Mandela 19 and an infected cell. But guess what? They always showed the Mandela 19 bursting out of the cell. They never show it entering a cell. Remember that? I pointed that out. I was like, look, no matter what picture I found, it was always saying the Mandela 19. This is a picture of an electron microscope, electron, whatever they call it. A picture of the Mandela 19 leaving a cell. And it was always a bunch of different, it was always a bunch of hokey pokeys. Or no, not hokey pokeys, a whole bunch of the viruses exiting the cell. You know? Why can't they never show a picture or a video of the hokey poke of the virus entering into the cell, doing this thing, replicating, and then bursting out of the cell? There, see William says, the military helped DARPA now has technology that is injectable to detect sickness before sickness. But I don't believe the implant is removable. Yeah, nah, I'm good. I'll let my body tell me when there's a virus or when there's a sickness. My body will let me know I'm sick. This is crazy. Lawrence Rittenhouse was good. Chip party is here. An implantable device for the military. Eventually, the general public will be chipped. Not me. Anarchy Television, what's good, man? No, I won't be chipped. They can miss me with that shit. Nope, not me.
Sorry.
It's okay. Nope, not getting chipped. But yeah, so this is the thing I believe about viruses and why they never can catch them coming out of a cell. Even with the HIV/AIDS virus, they never showed them entering into a cell. They never showed a single or a couple virus particles going into the cell. They always show them coming out. And I think it's because your body, your cell, the cell uses, or the RNA in your body that already exists, instructs the DNA to create the virus. Once the cell knows that it's contaminated or cancerous or whatever the case may be, or being irradiated, let's say by something in the air from towers, I believe the cell creates the virus from within and has it replicate, and then it destroys the cell and it cleans it up. It gets it out of here, gets it out of your system before it can contaminate other cells. You know what I'm saying? Before the contamination can spread. And you have to ask yourself, you know, since the advent of hokey pokeys, so did the rise in cancer come about, right? Hokey pokeys, cancer. Proliferation of cancer with the proliferation of hokey pokeys. I wonder why. Huh? What y'all think? Think about that. Proliferation of hokey pokeys and the correlation with the proliferation of cancer. Correlation isn't causation, but I don't believe in coincidences. So, what does a hokey pokey do? I didn't even mean to get into all this. What does a hokey pokey do? Well, it it instigates your body's immune system to attack the virus that's within the hokey pokey that's been administered, right? Using the adjuvant. So now, guess what happens? Guess what happens? When it detects that particular virus, your body is going to attack it now. That's what it's supposed to do, right? Well, guess what? When cancer, when your cell becomes cancerous, right? The virus comes out to destroy the cancer cells. But if the hokey pokey is designed to destroy those viruses, guess what can happen? Who do you have to clean up those cancer cells? Where's your cleanup crew for the cancer cells? Get those out of there. If your body is destroying and attacking viruses that your cells create, how is it going to do its job? Huh? This is based on my research that I'm doing in a fiction novel I'm writing, y'all. It's all fiction. Everything I'm telling you right now is fiction. All right. Okay. Lois Reno says, I heard about implanting a microchip in the people, making it so they cannot buy or sell anything without it. Bunch of nonsense. That's why I told you guys to build your circle. Build a circle of like-minded people that you guys can rely on and thrive off each other. You know what I'm saying? Use each other's skills, you know, for trade and things like that, for bartering. Man, you know, you guys need to get on that. Let's see. We know the PCR, Shouting at Cloud says, we know the PCR test is fake test. Are they even bothering to do that test in any much? Probably not. Let me tell y'all something. They diagnose a lot of people, you know, without the test, right? They were doing that from the jump. So, going with my fictional story in regards to viruses, the Modelo 19 comes around. What's activating those viruses, right? What's activating those Modelo 19 viruses? What is it? What environmental factor is causing your cells to create these Modelo 19 hokey pokeys? Well, some people might say cinco hey, right? Some people might say that. And it might be true, but if you look at the science behind the Cinco G, you'll see that the waves, the millimeter waves, are much larger than microwaves, right? That's why they're millimeter waves. They're much larger, and they don't penetrate into your body as far. Right? So, what it does is, at 60 gigahertz, it interacts with the oxygen molecules, right? This is what the Cinco G does at 60 gigahertz. It interacts with, it reaches resonant frequency, it reaches resonance with the oxygen molecule, and makes it more difficult for your body, for your hemoglobin to absorb it. So that's what we get, right? At 60 gigahertz. But it's directed. It has to be directed. It's not like microwaves where they can spread out in every direction. They don't need to be directed. You just have to have a device to pick it up. So you just have to have a device to pick it up. So when your device picks it up, boom, that 4G on that microwave frequency picks it up. But with 5G, you have to have actually a device that takes 5G for it to be directed at you, unless they're directing the beam remotely, which is a possibility, right? So they put up these transmitters. It may be possible for them to direct that energy, because it's a directed energy beam, right? Millimeter waves, millimeter wave dishes or transmitters are directed energy. So they could probably remotely direct it at people without the 5G device. So that's something we should keep in mind. But I doubt that they have that capability right now. And I doubt they can figure out how to do that, because they will need a lot of personnel sitting up there targeting people like that. But anyway, what could be happening is that's why they're pushing the 5G so much. That's why every new phone out now is 5G, right? Like after this phone right here that I got right now, I don't have a 5G phone. I got a, it doesn't take 5G. It's a 4G phone. And when I get my next phone, it's probably just gonna be a flip phone. A flip phone. That's what I'm using. I don't know, man. I can't get no 5G phone. I'm good. Or I'll get an older generation phone, or I'll keep this one as long as possible. Hell, I'll keep this motherfucker for 5, 6, 7, 8 years if I have to. Derek C. Williams, yeah, you're right. All of it ain't fiction, but for the purposes of the algorithm and the moderators, it is all fiction. Sees Dark Matter Disease, exactly. That book is out. And, the first 3 books in the series, it's not going to go into too much detail of the virus in the novel, in the story. But the prequel novels will. The prequel stories will go in depth into the virus of the book. So, and I'm gonna tell you guys, man, a lot of things that I already had planned, you know what I'm saying, as far as the virus is concerned, in my story, in my universe that I'm creating. A lot of things going on and surrounding the events of that and how that got spread out and all that shit. Very similar to what's going on now. Very similar. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a spoiler. So let's say, I think it's going to be probably the second book of the prequel series, right? The prequel trilogy. They're going to start administering this hokey pokey because people started getting sick, right? People started getting sick with something similar to Modelo 19, except it's not like a respiratory thing. It's more like a blood-borne. It's like a blood thing, a blood disease, right? That ends up being airborne. But really, if you think about it, the more they say, the more they add about the Modelo 19 in the real world, the more similar it is to the virus I created in my stories. Because this was like a blood-borne virus that, you know, did all kind of shit. It didn't just attack one organ or whatever. It attacked several systems. And so they had to create a hokey pokey that would essentially, because it attacked so many systems in your body, they had to create a hokey pokey that basically was a cure-all hokey pokey, right? That affected every system, that was supposed to strengthen every system to fight like damn near any disease, right? So that's how they were able to push this thing. That's how they were able to sell it. Like, oh, this is a cure-all, and then they did testing. But unlike in real life, in my story, they had been working on this hokey pokey for like decades to try to figure out, you know, how can we create one hokey pokey that would take care of any disease, that would strengthen the body, that to in order to fight anything. And basically what they had to come up with is like essentially what viruses do, except they're like more efficient. You know what I'm saying? They're not as fragile. They're like machines. They're little tiny machines, nano machines. That's what the hokey pokey in the book is. They're nano machines that were given instructions, and they work off frequencies and all this other shit, and they communicate, and they can spread throughout the body real fast and attack damn near any freaking contaminant, any foreign body that enters in you, even asbestos. So, and that's how they were able to set up too. So, these nano machines that I created in my story, you know how people get asbestos, they get mesothelioma and all these problems with breathing in asbestos for 30 years. Well, this hokey pokey can actually break down and destroy asbestos fibers and get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Get them out of your lungs, get them out of your chest wall, all this other shit, out of your fingers. So that's what this thing does. It even gets rid of asbestos, right? So that's how they were able to sell it, and it did everything they said it was going to do, right? And then some. It did everything they said it was going to do, and then some. And because it works off frequencies, unique frequencies, right? Once they received a certain frequency, guess what happened? It turned on everybody. Everybody that had it, it turned on them and started making them sick. Because that's what it was designed to do. Whenever they were ready to receive those instructions. So, yeah. And what is this hokey pokey doing now? Well, it's not nano machines, but they do give instructions to your DNA, right? And to do certain things. So at any point in time, who knows what these instructions are going to be when they inject that stuff into you? How do we know that certain batches aren't actually designed to make people sick, give people blood clots, right? Or remove people's platelets from their blood? How do we know? Let's see. Tracy 3 was good. Half-Life 2 was good. Even from the grave, Kerry Mullis is shaking his head. The PCR test was not meant for detection of a virus. Excuse me. But he did say the test can be used to find damn near anything. Well, yeah, it wasn't designed to diagnose people. A healthy immune system recognizes pathogens and instructs defective. That's new word for y'all. Defective, same thing. Defective cells to commit suicide. Apoptosis. Yeah, they basically, yeah. It creates these viruses within the cell, from within the cell, and it destroys itself. It's to clean it out, to stop the spread of the disease. But when you have these hokey pokeys in you, and they're destroying these viruses, before they can do their work, how are you going to stop cancer from forming? Defuction. That's right. I like that. So, yeah, man. Defuctive. Forget defective. Some people were very defective. That's why we're in such a defective state. Defective viruses, defective vaccines. Oh man. Watching. Nicolette Moore was good. She says, I'm just watching us open up. Then they show us India. Good point, Nicolette. Very interesting. I didn't even think about that. Yes. Put that in your language lexicon, y'all. Defective. Need to coin that term that describes the state of the world. Yeah, I'm coining it. Let it be hereby understood that Tyrus Bane, aka Snapzilla Gorilla, has coined the term or the word defective. Meaning, it's so defected, you're fucked, right? So you're putting those words together. You defected and to the point of being fucked. So now you're defective. Streamline, you know what I mean? They're adding words to the dictionary every day. Why not that one? The reports on Hokey Pokey hesitancy, absolutely. DCW, the Planet of the Apes ending makes me tear up every time. Yeah, word. So yeah. So don't be defective, y'all. When you're out here in the world and you're listening to the news, understand that that's defective as well. Speaking of the news, there's been a lot of atmospheric change, right? We're gonna get off the topic of hokey pokeys and viruses for a second. Y'all get the gist, y'all get what I'm saying, right? In the book, it's understood, in my story, in my universe that I created, it's very known that viruses are, you know, part of your body. Your body creates them to clean up cells that have been contaminated. And that's understood by the medical community, but not so much by the public. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of the news, look at the shift. I wish I could play this for y'all. Matter of fact, I think I will. Look at what the news is doing. Look what left-wing mainstream media is doing in regards to gun control, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's like they're doing a complete 180 on their stance of gun control, because this is what's understood. Last year, I think there were 46 million background checks for the FBI. The FBI reported 46 million background checks. You know what that added? Probably 46 million firearms to the country, right? Because before we had 350 million. Now we have over 400 million. But anyway, 40% of that were first-time gun owners. 40% of 45 million. Or 46, whatever. 40% of that, first-time gun owners. What does that tell you? People are waking up to understand that their rights to keep and bear arms are very important. So they're going out and getting shit. When they realize that the government wasn't gonna do shit for them, you see, a lot of what happened last year was a test. To test our responsiveness to certain situations. So they lock us down for a few months. Then they show us the George Floyd situation, right? They show us the George Floyd situation. Remember, didn't he die in April? He died in April or May or something. And they didn't really start showing, they didn't show his shit until a couple months after that, right? They finally decided to release, or not release, but they just started bringing it up. And so people were being locked down and they got frustrated. You know, they're already frustrated from being locked down. And so guess what happens? They see an opportunity to act out, to wild out, and that's what they do. And the people that saw this, right, the people that didn't go out and wild out, they see this and they say, you know what? Oh, even before that, actually, before even the George Floyd situation, as soon as we started getting locked down and everything started flying off the shelves, mostly toilet paper, people started buying shit then. Like, they were like, I believe in the first month of the lockdown, 8 million new freaking gun owners, right? 8 million, and just in that 1 month span. So you had that, right? And so I'm sure they didn't believe that's what people were going to do. You know, they were talking about the National Guard fucking making sure, sending out the National Guard to make sure people went home and were following the restrictions and all that stuff. And what was the people's response to that? You know what? I've never owned a gun before, but I'm gonna go out and get one. Why is that? Why would you do that if you knew the National Guard was being deployed to keep you safe? Think about it. Deep down inside, what these people understood is that the National Guard can very easily be used against them. So what they wanted was a way to defend themselves from their own government, because people started to see the tyranny for what it was. Even if they listened to the lockdown instructions, even if they followed the restrictions, they knew deep down that the government was getting out of control, right? So they went out and bought firearms. And what happened when the George Floyd situation happened? Even more people, even more first-time gun owners. Shit's kind of crazy, right? So what is that to say? That is to say that they failed the test, all right? The test did not go in their favor. They did not expect or want more people to buy firearms. They did not expect people to fight they didn't expect all that, right? They probably expected the same people, the same conspiracy theorists, the right-wing nut jobs to continue to go out and buy firearms, but they did not expect so many new firearm owners among the Democrats, right? They did not expect that. Let me tell y'all. So now the media is framing things differently in regards to gun control, and it just happened in the last couple weeks. Because what do we have? We had multiple mass bang-bangs, right? We had multiple mass bang-bangs, yet people were not going for the okie doke, right? It was not that the pushing of those narratives don't resonate among the people anymore like that. So now they have to start framing things differently. Now they're like, I was listening to a story. So now what they're doing to create the division, they're pointing out the fact that among, they don't know exactly how many gun shops are in the country, but of the 8,000 that they know of, 2 or 3% of those are black owned. 2 or 3% of those are black owned, right? And then they even went to the history of gun control, right? They talked about how gun control was used initially to keep black people from being able to carry. So you're talking about, I think it was NBC or something, CBS or one of those. They're talking about how gun control was used by the Democratic Party to keep black folks from being empowered, because they did not want black people to exercise their right to keep and bear arms. The Mulford Act in California is a perfect example, right? Even though Reagan was a Republican, right? It wasn't just him. I think the Mulford Act was the first open carry restriction law in the country. I believe that was the first time they restricted open carry on a state level. Was because the Black Panthers rode up on the Capitol armed, as it was their right. It was their right to do that. They weren't doing anything wrong. They just had their shit. They were exercising their rights. But nope. Reagan, the KKK, and even the NRA couldn't have that. So now they're talking about that. I'm like, it's almost like they're advocating for gun rights now. Why would they do that? You know what I'm saying? Why bring that up now? Why bring up that gun control started in this country because they didn't want black people to keep to own firearms and to carry firearms? Why bring that up now? Excuse me. That's something to think about. Why bring that up? It's because they want black people to get mad and start buying arms and start creating tension with white folks. What are they trying to do? I mean, it's important. That's some important history to understand, right? Because I talked about how gun control started because they wanted to keep black people from practicing their right to keep and bear arms. That's simply why it started, right? And it was the Democrats. So I made that understood. But what happened was it started to spread. Once you start, it starts spreading like wildfire. If you don't stop it right then and there, it's going to spread like wildfire. And I'm pretty sure a lot of NRA members that were NRA members back then, that I bet they're kicking themselves in the ass now after agreeing with that stupid ass law being created. Okay. Yes, Deceased Dark Matter, Derek Williams just posted it. Lockdown, spoon-fed George Floyd, yes. They spoon-fed us George Floyd after months of lockdown. People were afraid they would need to protect themselves from others coming in and take from them. Yeah, Tracy, exactly. Exactly. And they understood that the National Guard wasn't going to do shit for them. The police weren't going to do shit for them. And I'm pretty sure deep down inside, in their subconscious mind, they were afraid that the National Guard would turn on them.
That's
so.
Yesterday. Okay. You said that the lines weren't that bad. Really? Yes, because this is the
Let's see. People don't want or believe that the government will do you. Oh yeah, they need to. They need to. They better wake up fast. By the way, y'all, I'm still aware. I'm still on alert in regards to the child threatener. So that's still always on my mind when I'm out here doing this. So don't get it twisted. Your boys stay on point. Anyway. Let's see, Derek C. Williams says, a woman in Hawaii, a Hawaiian woman, had a knee on the neck, Ala Floyd, but she was a white lady. She lived. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. It's very easy to control people with fear. Yes, in California, yes, oh, here, Deuce. In California, they killed a homeless Hispanic man sitting on his chest. Not sitting on his chest, but sitting on his back, which pressed his chest into the ground. And he wasn't doing anything. He was minding his own business, you know, making his little meal. Yeah, he was a little inebriated. He was drunk. But so what? He wasn't harming anybody. Oh, my goodness. He wasn't harming anybody. He was minding his own business. And so, because he didn't have ID, they had to take him in, right? Like, leave people the fuck alone. This is my problem with the police, man. Leave people the fuck alone when they're not doing anything to anybody. How about that? How about that, pigs? And you bad shiners out there that love the pigs so much, why can't they mind their own business? Yep, I said it. Fuck a pig. How about that? Now what's crazy is, did y'all hear about the chick, that podcaster that was talking all that crap about the police and then ended up running down a police officer, drunk driving, right after the podcast was over? That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. She was talking mad shit about the police. Talking about fuck them and they need to die, this, that, and the third. And then she runs one over and kills him. Man, they're gonna make an example out of her, man. They're gonna make an example out of her. And I told you about the, I forgot his name, the Filipino young man. The veteran from out, he's in California too. Knee on his neck for 6 minutes. Killed him. Why isn't that being talked about? Don't Filipino lives matter? Don't Filipino lives matter? The dude was suffering from PTSD, by all accounts. And his stupid ass family members called the police on him. Instead of getting him real help, instead of demanding the VA does something to help him, right? They called the police on him. And when they showed up, he was like calm. He was calm when they showed up. He had an episode before they showed up. When they showed up, he's calm. But see, it's this thing where the police, they feel like they have to escalate every fucking thing for whatever reason in the United States. I've seen in other countries where the police actually de-escalated situations where even some cases out here. I've seen it. I've seen a guy a white dude running around with a knife. You know what I'm saying? And the cops were able to subdue him. I've seen a white dude in the park shooting at people and they shot him in the leg from a great distance. Shot him in the leg and dropped him and was able to run up on him and stop him. Crazy white dude with a shirtless white dude walking around pointing a gun and shooting at people. Right? Shot him in the leg and he fell by a tree. So when they tell you it's impossible in the heat of the moment to shoot somebody in the leg, that's bullshit. They can. And sometimes you can't, but it's possible sometimes. Like if a dude is standing right here, right next to me, and I'm armed, and he suddenly pulls out a knife and tries to stab me, I'm not thinking about a leg, right? If he's right next to me, of course, in that situation. But let's compare that. I forgot what that white dude's name was, but he was in the park. Very, very famous case, very famous situation. He was in the park, and he was pointing a gun at people, shooting, and all this other shit. And and look, when the police responded, they stood off at a distance. The standoff was at a distance, and it was a bunch of them. It was like at least a dozen SWAT members or something like that, and they were off in the distance. They were hiding behind a tree. They were trying to gain, a line of sight on. Good morning. How you doing? Okay. Anyway, so they were off in the distance. They was handling their business, and they took the shot. Shot him in the leg. I mean, come on, man. Now, when you compare that, there are two situations similar that could have happened, right? They could have used that very tactic with John Crawford. Y'all remember him? So when they tell you, look, man, they call them on their bullshit. I need y'all to call these ABLs and the brand. That's why I'm on their head so tough, because they so full of shit. The Brandon Tatums and all these people, the bad shiners.
Hi.
Oh, good morning.
He's about to be my cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley.
Okay.
He just ran past.
Oh, yeah?
He's about to be up there. My cousin Troy.
Right. Yeah. I remember him. Nice seeing you. Yeah, I was training this young man. I met him at the top a couple weeks ago, and he saw me training my boy Taj, and was interested in getting some training in itself. So told him I'd help him out. He wants to compete, so I was like, if you want to compete, if you want to compete in boxing, I'm not your man, because I don't have the gym, I don't have the connections and all that stuff to get fights happen. But if you need a good gym, I can give you a name of a couple of good gyms. But sometimes on Sundays, I give them some pointers and show them some shit. Oh yeah, Tracy 3. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Exactly, Tracy. But see, what I'm saying is not in regards to white versus black. It's in regards to, I know that the police can handle these situations a lot better than they do, right? In certain situations. John Crawford, he was in the aisle of a Walmart picking up a pellet gun that was on a shelf of the Walmart. Some white lady, and yes, I'm gonna use that because that's what it was. It was a white woman. Excuse me. Not because I'm race baiting, it's because that's the fact. White woman called the police on him. Oh, he's walking around with a gun. What do? They go to his aisle. I mean, look how much time it happened between her phone call and them showing up to that very aisle that he was in to put him down. Not very long, because he was just looking at it, As soon as the police see him, they shoot him. Why not do a standoff? Huh? Why not call out to him, say, hey, drop your shit, give him an opportunity to de-escalate? Why shoot immediately? Why? Don't tell me that you can't do what they did in that park with that white boy who was walking around shooting at people. Actually shooting at people, waving the gun around. That's one example. Another example, Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice was walking around pointing a little plastic fake gun at people. You know what I'm saying? And what they do with him? They roll right up next to him. They roll right up next to Tamir Rice. Roll the window, get out and shoot him immediately. Right up next to him. Does that make tactical sense to y'all? If you know somebody is a threat, walking around with a firearm, if you know that they're a real threat with that firearm, I don't care if you're a cop. and you have a gun. Are you gonna roll right up next to him? Right up next to him, give him an opportunity to pull out right as you're pulling up. Cause yeah, he lifted up his shirt when the cop pulled up. But if he was a real threat, he could have pulled the gun out before the cop showed up and started spraying through the window. But that's not what happened, right? What happened was they pulled up right next to him, got out and shot him. Does that sound like that they felt threatened to you? No. It makes zero tactical sense. So, because that's a perfect example. They handled that white dude in the park. That's the way they're supposed to handle shit, right? Give him a chance to de-escalate. Try to de-escalate the situation. Try to take him. They took him out by the leg. They neutralized the threat by shooting a dude in the leg. But with Tamir Rice, who was 13 years old, they rolled right up next to him and shot him immediately. They weren't threatened by him. As a matter of fact, one of the people that called the police on him said that they believed it was a toy gun. They probably expected the police to tell him, yo, stop waving that thing around, you're scaring people. But what did they do? They rolled right up to him and shoot him. They couldn't have given him the same courtesy they gave that white dude in the park. Come on, man. And you wonder why people think it's racist. You wonder why people think that has to do with racism. I've yet to see a video where they give a black man that same courtesy. Just being real with y'all. Now they have killed white people indiscriminately. Yes, they have. Tony Timpa, Kelly Thomas, right? Fucking Daniel Shaver in the hotel. It's bad. And so when these situations happen, when the police kill unarmed people without real provocation, I don't care what race they are. Because the police is a problem in general for everybody, not just for black people. And so when you explain that to people like ABL and Brandon Tatum and the Hodge twins, they have nothing to say about it. They get all discombobulated and flabbergasted, right? Just like when I told ABL about Daniel Shaver, he had nothing to say about it. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that story. Oh, I gotta look into that. So what's the point of having a conversation with these people? You can't have a conversation with these people in real life about police brutality when you recognize that police brutality is a problem, period. Not just for black people, not just for people of color. When that's understood and you talk to these people about that, they have nothing to say. When you give them these examples, they have nothing to say about it. You know what I'm saying? So don't act like the police can't approach someone with a firearm that's carrying a firearm and threatening people with a level of tactic that could result in minimal loss of life. You know what I'm saying?
You can talk and walk.
Yeah, that's how I get down.
Heard that.
Yeah. You know, don't tell me that can't happen more often with more people. The young man, and I believe in Ohio, the 13-year-old kid that they called a murderer or assassin or whatever the hell they called him, that had the gun, that gave chase without running from the police, got to a gate, turned around with his hands in the air, even though he did have a gun, allegedly. They shot him. Anyway, don't tell me that same level of tactics can't be used more often by the police. It can't. Don't let them give you that excuse. Let me see. Maryland teenager. Which Maryland teenager, Derek? see, Damon Withstand says, the house next door to me, these Spanish kids were playing with a BB gun. This black guy came by and told them it's not safe to play outside with those toys. That's how you handle shit, right? Not because listen, it's not okay, right? It's not okay to tell kids, it's not okay for kids to be afraid to play with a BB gun outside, right? It shouldn't be automatically for the police that, oh, as soon as I see somebody with a weapon, I gotta kill them. That's not how it should be. But unfortunately, that's how it is. But that black cop understood that, look, I'm not gonna roll up on you and blow you away, but another motherfucker might. So you might wanna put that, might wanna be careful with that. And it's not illegal to play with a BB gun outside, right? I know in cities like LA, I think it's illegal for kids to be outside with a toy gun without like some identifier, like an orange tip or a colorful gun. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't have to be that way. This idea that, excuse me, this idea that only cops should be comfortable keeping and bearing arms outside the home and out and about, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? And in some states, everybody can. You know, like Arizona, Nevada, you know, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Y'all know the states. It's okay, but it should be okay everywhere. It should be okay everywhere for people to exercise their right to keep and bear arms. It shouldn't just be, only cops can carry here. Only soldiers can carry. That sets a very bad outlook on society, right? It shouldn't be like that. A kid should be able to play outside with a BB gun. A kid should be able to play outside with an airsoft gun, you know, just to have a little bit of fun, or a cap gun, or something like that. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, dude says, I'll give ABL a good debate. You should call in, man. Gamerwood says Zionists won't really promote that story that much because he's white. Yeah, no, they won't. But you know who's also not promoting it? Who else is not promoting it? A story like Daniel Schaefer, or Tony Temple, or Kelly Thomas. Conservatives, right? Bad shiners. Conservative bad shiners who want to keep up this narrative that the police can do no wrong. There's no such thing as police brutality. There's no such thing as police terrorism. They don't want you to know about stories like Daniel Schaefer, because then it'll be widely recognized that it's a problem in general, and that would unify people. You can't be unifying people when you want to sell the left-right paradigm lie. Unification does not work. I mean, you know, when you unify people, and you've been playing the left-right paradigm lie so long, as ABL and Brandon Tatum has, I mean, look at the levels they have reached, particularly last year, stoking that division, right, with their hypocrisy. You know, they want to get on liberals' head for causing division, for race baiting, bringing up race and all this other shit, but they do the same shit. They do the same shit. But when you try to break it down to an objective level, they don't want to hear it. And that's why I really believe ABL didn't know about Daniel Schaefer, right? Because he would have to acknowledge that was some BS. And just like and I swear to God, I wish I knew the name of the guy, that homeless man that got gunned down by a trash dumpster in a restaurant parking lot by the cops because he said fuck off. He told the cops to fuck off, and 6 or 7 of them unloaded on him. Executed that homeless man because he told them to fuck off. He was sitting down. And when I put that up, I didn't have too many more details, but I saw the video. I saw the video, so I know what really happened. But when I brought it up, I didn't really have too many details, so I couldn't really get on them about that. But when you bring shit up like that to them, and it's not just about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and you know, when you bring up those cases, then they can go to what? What's their go-to when you bring up those cases? Oh, well, you know, according to the FBI, black people are 17% of the population and commit 50% of the murders and all that bullshit, right? They go to that bullshit. Yeah, I call it bullshit because it's an FBI statistic that they had to compile. They had to compile all kinds of information from local police departments. Do you think that the reporting from all those police departments were up to par? Hell no. Hell no. Shit. Let me tell you something. If somebody gets murdered, right? Let's say somebody gets murdered in the inner city. The clearance rate for those murders are extremely low. Extremely low. The clearance rate, if you look at cities like Baltimore, parts of LA, Watts, Compton, parts of New York, Chicago, the clearance rates are very low, right? What does that tell you? That tells you they don't know who killed that person. They don't know who killed him. So how the fuck do they know what race they are if they don't know who killed him? If you don't know who killed this person, if you don't have a good clearance rate, how do you know it was a black man that killed him or a black woman? How do you know that? You don't know. You're just assuming because it happened in the inner city. You're just assuming because, well, a black man died in a black neighborhood. Must have been a black man that killed him. That's the assumption. That's what they want you to believe. So when I see those statistics, I'm like, man, I'll wipe my ass with those statistics. Miss me with that bullshit. Miss me with that bullshit. You'll believe that, but you won't believe the FBI when they tell you that there were no Antifa members that stormed the Capitol. You won't believe that, but you'll believe them when it comes to saying that black people commit most of the crime. You'll believe that. Miss me with that. And it's so full of shit. These people are stupid. No, actually, they're not stupid. They think you're stupid, right? They think their followers are stupid because guess what? Their followers want a voice. Their followers don't have the voice that they feel like they can have because they're white. And so when they have black people, black conservatives out there shitting on black people, it makes them feel good. And they can, guess what? They can shit on black people too in their comment section and get away with it. And get a pat on the back from the ABLs and the Brandon Tatums and the Candace Owenses, right? They'll get a pat on the back, and then they tell you, and then they start giving you super chats.
Let's go, ladies.
And they'll buy your merchandise.
Last one. Push yourself.
They buy your merchandise. They send you super chats. They give you donations. They subscribe to your newsletter and all this other shit. And they give donations. Oh man. If I'm gonna tell you what, I'm a capitalist, but if I was a ruthless capitalist, I would be doing the same thing. I'd become a conservative, and I would sensationalize the shit out of myself on YouTube. I would talk about how I was red pilled, and I was an Obama supporter, and I'm ex-military, this, that, and the third. That would already give me a lot of respect from the white conservative base, right? I would just start shitting on the black community, and I would get me a lot of following too. I would do the same thing if I was a ruthless capitalist, but because I like to keep it real and 100%, I can't do that. I can't, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it. I don't believe the things that a lot of the shit ABL and Brandon Tatum believe. And they don't believe it either. They don't believe it. They're full of shit. They're liars. I'm calling them out. They don't really believe that there's no such thing as systemic racism. They don't really believe that. They don't really believe there's no such thing as police brutality. They'll tell you that, right? They'll tell you cops are the greatest heroes in the country. They don't really believe that. They know better. But it gets them a lot of money to do it otherwise. That's just reality. That's how I see it. I don't knock the hustle, but I'm gonna call them out on it. Do you? If your followers are that desperate to have a mouthpiece speaking for them out loud, saying shit that they know they can't say to other people, go ahead. That's up to that's on their followers. Their followers don't want to vet them or use common sense. Hey, you know, you can't be mad at ABL and Brandon Tatum for that. But that's why I'm here, right? And I know these people. I know they watch my shit. I know it. I know a lot of people shadow watch my shit. I've had people tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even the not so amazing, the idiot Lucas, he admitted he shadow watches my shit. When I bring him up in my videos, when I use his name in the title and all that shit, he shadow watches. They do that, y'all. Right? A lot of them don't want to punch down, but they'll still watch your shit. They'll still watch your shit. And sometimes, I swear to God, I'll hear them say some shit, and it's like they're using some of the talking points that I have given in my videos shortly before they said the same shit. It's kind of, I know they shadow watch my shit, but they're not going to acknowledge me, you know what I'm saying, on that level. And that's okay. Because I don't do this for acknowledgement. I don't do this for myself. I do this because if I can reach a few people and expose the bullshit, sometimes you gotta force people to wake up, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I know I've converted a few ABL watchers. I know I converted a few Brandon Tatum watchers, right? That don't, and it's not my goal to get people to unsubscribe from them. Because I stay subscribed. I subscribe to all them cats. They have such great content to use, for me to use. They give me such good content because it's an oasis of cognitive dissonance and hypocrisy to point out and to give a lesson on. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I'm a master student. I'm not a master teacher. I'm a master student. I'm always learning. And I'm always learning something from these people. Right? Hold on. Here we go. I'm always learning something from these people, man. They always give me some good content to talk about. And it's just, to me, it's just a teaching moment for a lot of people. Tater is watching. Man, I don't know about Brandon Tatum. I don't know about him. But I know ABL does sometimes. And I know the amazing Lucas does. Brandon Tatum is too stratospheric right now. He might not be watching my shit because so many people talk about him. Right now, he's focused on other black conservatives he's beefing with, which is very interesting to me. Other black conservatives that he says are jealous of him and Candace Owens. I heard about some issues he was having with, what's that guy's name? I forgot this dude's name. He's a black conservative. No. She. Angela Stanton. Angela Stanton. I know he had been having issues with Angela Stanton because Angela Stanton calls Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum out for not speaking to black people, for not resonating with black people on a large scale. You know, and then I did the video about Brandon Tatum not speaking to the black community, and I explained why. You know what I'm saying? He thinks it's because he don't talk hood, he don't sag his pants, and all this other bullshit, or he ain't never been to the pen or prison. But that's not why. Angela Stanton King, she's a black conservative, but she speaks more. I feel like she has more compassion for the black community, right? Because she lived in the struggle, right? She participated in some bad shit. Just like, you know, ABL, Brandon Tatum said that they were raised in the struggle too. Except when they came out of it, they lost that compassion, or they never had it in the first place. Angela Stanton King still has that compassion and that empathy. And that's why she speaks to black people. That's why her message resonates more. And I think Brandon Tatum is jealous of her. You know what I'm saying? Because she's actually doing a lot of legwork, politics-wise. So, I mean, she's well known. There's no reason for her to be jealous of Candace Owens or Brandon Tatum. And I know Brandon Tatum was also having a problem with those black conservatives that spoke at CPAC. You know, so, you know, I'm low on his radar. Lawrence Rittenell says, have you ever called on to Tommy Sotomayor's show? Nope, because he's too much of an idiot. Tommy Sotomayor is too much. He's beneath me, right? And, you know, I don't really watch his shit. That's one person I don't watch. Because it's just, his content to me, the little that I've seen, is nausea-inducing. But maybe I should watch more. My problem with him is like the ad hominems that he launches at everybody. Like, watching this shit is like, you know, killing brain cells. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep my brain cells intact. So if I watch this shit, I don't feel like my brain cells will be intact. And that's a problem. So I'm like, I stay away from Tommy's content. I haven't really, you know what I mean? Maybe I should start though, because maybe he'll give me a lot of content to put out. But it has to be, you see, Tommy's, I just feel like it's too easy. It's too easy to expose the bullshit that he spews, right? I feel like a lot of his audience are looking for a good laugh. They're looking for someone to shit on black people, like to a degree where it's like counterproductive. You know what I'm saying? To me, what I feel like Brandon Tatum and ABL, they're a little more productive with their content. It's a lot more, you know, it takes a lot more in-depth common sense and reasoning skills and all that to break down their bullshit, right? Whereas with Tommy Sotomayor, it just seems like it's too easy to point out that he's just a retard that hates black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really, I watch this shit more though. You know, I'll watch this shit more. Oh, Tommy Sotomayor is not on YouTube anymore? Tamiko Anderson says, oh, what's up, Tamiko? Tires PDOA. Lucas is a very intelligent and smart man. Of course, he watches a lot of stuff. Yeah. No, Lucas is smart. He's smart, but he's an idiot too, at the same time. He's one of those cats. I'm gonna tell you what type of dude he is. He reminds me a lot of my brother, right? Except my brother would fight me in real life. You know, my brother wouldn't shy away. If I told my brother, yo, let's get the gloves on and get a little sparring match, he'll do it. Even though he's not trained like me, he'll still buy. I train my brother. But the issue with my brother is that he's so damn book smart that he's stupid. You understand what I'm saying? He's so damn. I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. My wife FaceTimed me. And every time she FaceTimed me, I have to back all the way out of YouTube and restart the live. So, I don't know why it does that. But, see what y'all talking about. Man, I had over 20 people in here too before that happened. AZ Infidel was good. So yeah, Tommy is on YouTube. You know what? I'm gonna start watching all this shit. I'm gonna start watching Tommy, Young Ripper. I don't really watch Young Ripper. I'll start watching him too. Expand my content. And I'm gonna start talking about left wing. I'm gonna start talking about liberal content creators too. Start looking into them, because I think I've proven my point already with a lot of these black conservatives. I mean, I'm gonna still stay on their head, but I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna branch out, start trying to reach some liberal audiences to wake them the fuck up. It's a good idea. But to me, watching like liberal content creators is cringeworthy sometimes, man. It's very cringy. Like, it's hard to watch a lot of liberal alternative news. And liberal news in general is just so obviously manufactured. It's so obviously like just a pussification of that side. I mean, it really is it's a real dichotomy. It's artificially manufactured dichotomy, but the dichotomy itself is real. The motivation behind the dichotomy is manufactured by the controllers. But man, woo-wee! See, this is what I'm afraid of. I'm gonna tell you what I'm afraid of when it comes to going in on liberal content creators. Not like people like I feel like I can go in on Charlemagne the God all day. As long as I don't defame him or slander him, he's not going to come after me no matter how big I get, right? He's not going to come after me now. I'm not nearly big enough. But when I say come after me, I'm not talking about like snap back. I'm talking about with like community guideline strike or flagging me or trying to get me taken down. Like, we've seen what happened when you go after liberal content creators. They start crying to the YouTube gods. So that's really what I'm afraid of when it comes to doing content, going after liberal creators. And let's face it, there's not many of them, right? It's not nearly as much as there are conservative, but I will start going in on them too. It's only fair, right? Because they're causing problems too. Man, but they so damn soft. It's crazy, man. That dichotomy is real, right? Because I feel like even though, you know, even if ABL sees my shit, I'm talking about him, he's not going to like flag me or, you know what I'm saying, do any of that type of shit. Start crying to Google guys. Ooh, I'm almost done, y'all. I did 6 laps. Yeah, big channels don't rock the boat. In the future, black conservatives, will black conservatives be so annoying? I don't know. I would actually consider myself a black conservative. My views, a lot of my views are conservative. Although, I'm not gonna call myself a black conservative because that just throws me in a lot with them. And I'm not in the lot with them. I'm on a whole different plane
Yeah, it's not an escape.
when it comes to critical thinking.
Like you're saying, like you don't keep energy around you.
I'm on a whole different plane. Whew. But you know what? What's funny about Lucas is we agree on a lot of the same shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the videos he's been putting out lately have been on point. It's just, you know, he's a punk at the same time. So, you know, I can't really get down like that. But before I get out of here, I did want to get on the North Carolina police shooting of Andrew Brown. So I wonder why the judge will refuse to allow the body cam footage of his death to be released to the public. Why would he refuse that? Why can't we get a glimpse of what was going on there? I think the judge knows something that will confirm a lot of the beliefs of the people that think that Andrew Brown was executed. Because Andrew Brown's family attorney said that the little video that they saw, because they were allowed to see some of the video, and the amount of the video they saw an execution. So I think the judge knows that, and his not allowing it to be shown confirms what everybody thought. Well, not everybody, but what a lot of people thought. And so he doesn't want y'all there? I know I was buffering for a minute. Fucking bullshit. I'm right near a cell tower, see? That's the cell tower. As soon as I get next to it, I'll start buffering. They need to just go ahead and release that footage and let what happen. It's gonna happen anyway. It's gonna come out. People are gonna react how they react. And these pigs need to be held accountable. Point blank in the period. How can they deny the family parts of the video and the press says nothing? Oh yeah, oh yeah, Deuce. I got it in last week too. I just didn't do a live stream because I wanted to focus on getting the laps done. Make sure I could do it. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to do it. I got my 6 in less than 2 hours. Boom. I was good to go. This time it took me a little over 2 hours because I'm talking to you guys and talking and climbing these stairs with 70 pounds at the same time. You know, it's a little bit more draining. So I had to take more rest in between laps. So, but it's all good. I got it done. Got my little bike rack here. I started biking a lot too. I got me a brand new bike. Hold on, y'all. Woo. Man, if y'all only knew how good it feels to take that damn thing off. Oh man, how good it feels to take that thing off and just breathe, you know? Whew. Anyway, so yeah, why not show that footage? And why show only parts of the video to the family? This is ridiculous. And what I was saying was, that's public property, right? The body cams belong to the public. They belong to us. We pay for it. We pay for the body cams. And there's a reason that they're required by law to wear them. For public transparency, right? So how is it that the judge can get away with not showing it? How is it they can do that? It should be automatic. No matter what it shows, no matter what that body cam footage shows, it should automatically be released to the people. I don't care what it shows. So, you know, of course you put your little viewer discretion and all this other stuff and you redact what you need to redact. But only if you need to redact it. Look what they did with the George Floyd body cam footage. What they did with that, they redacted a lot of that footage, right? For what purpose? It's good. So why? Why did the judge deny the release of that video? You feel strong? Okay, good. Okay, oh yeah, Deuce. Lawrence Rittenhouse says SJW 9000 is a liberal content creator. I know he loves to debate people. I'll check him out. It seems like he's embracing that moniker, right? SJW 9000. Seems like he'd be the type that would like wouldn't be so snowflakey. You know what I mean? So I'll check him out. You guys know any more liberal content creators on YouTube or whatever that I can check out? I need to start expanding my horizons. It's not fair that I'm always getting on the conservatives, right? But anyway, y'all, leave it in the comment section if you know some creators, some liberal content creators that I can check out. I'll start looking into Young Ripper 59 or whatever. What is his name? Young Ripper what? Young Ripper 59. I'll check him out. Tommy Sotomayor. Jesse Lee Peterson. The thing about Jesse Lee Peterson is, man, like when he debates people, he knows how to get under their skin. That dude, like he's such an accomplished stoic. He's so stoic in the way he approaches things, like no compassion, no emotion, just like the way he went in. He went in on, I forgot who he went in on. He just ruffles, like, he ruffles all kinds of feathers. I want to see the one where he had the Amazing Lucas on the show. I think he had him on the show, and he kind of got the Amazing Lucas upset. But yeah, I gotta check out Jefferson Lee Peterson more. Yeah, I gotta start expanding. I think you would sting ABL. But so this is the thing, you guys. I'm going to start. I know I told you guys already, but I want to start doing more of the survival stuff. Once I get up with my partner in regards to, you know, training and all the other shit, I'm going to start posting stuff on that. That'll be a whole separate channel though. A whole separate channel from this one, just to keep it separated, you know what I mean? That'll be strictly about the training and about the prepping. It'll be a lot less political, you know what I'm saying? So it won't be attached directly to this channel. But I'll give you guys a heads up on that. Jason Lee Peterson, man, I can't deny it. He is a legend. The way he debates people, like even if he's wrong, right? Even if he's completely wrong, it's hard to prove him wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to prove him wrong because he'll drag the emotions out of you. He'll get you emotional and attack him emotionally and all this other shit. It's crazy. So yeah, but I think I can take him. I could take him in a debate. Jesse Lee Peterson, it'll be easy for me because I like that shit wouldn't affect me. Like I wouldn't get so emotional and shit like other people. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, y'all, it's been real. I gotta get out of here. I got other moves to make. Like, share, subscribe, please. You know what I'm saying? Get my content out there. If you want to support the channel, you can buy a book, The Seeds of Dark Matter, Disease, on Amazon right now. And yeah, just no, I'm not emotional at all. No. Even when he went after my kids, the Amazing Lucas, like it was like, okay, now it's just the killer instinct clicked on. There's no emotion, just the killer instinct snapped on. But he got emotional. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. I'll holler at y'all later. Check out, you guys, Derek C. Williams had to start a new channel. He got his shit taken down, so he started a whole new channel. So go subscribe to Derek C. Williams right now. Help him get his content, help him get his subscriber count back up. All right. So much love, you guys. I enjoy being out here with you guys and sharing my content and, you know, sharing my rucking with you guys and, you know, getting this fresh air and getting this good exercise in. I tell you guys, this morning I wasn't feeling so good. Right, my stomach was a little upset, felt a little nauseated. But then I came out here, I got my work in, boom. Now I feel a lot better. I feel the shit didn't even bother me anymore. Like, it's like, okay, you got a little spell, now you're better. You know what I'm saying? So my body took care of what it needed to take care of, and that's it. Came out here, got some sunlight, got some fresh air. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, no spraying today. You know what I mean? A lot of moisture in the air, enough moisture to create the clouds, but somehow there are no trails. So that's one argument that this one guy gave. He said, well, on some days you don't see trails because there's not enough atmospheric pressure and moisture in the sky to create that effect with the trails staying in the air. But apparently there's enough atmospheric pressure and moisture to create the clouds. So why don't we see any trails? Anyway. Adam Courier says, gotta say something when dude starts cutting eyebrows. Oh man, Word up, man. He did. He did that. Thank you, Lawrence Redno. Appreciate that. Dark Neighborhood says, have a great day, all. Much love. My new nickname is Stoic. Now with family though. You know what's funny? I'm not that way with family. You know, my family can get push my buttons. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I just like, it's not even that I get emotional. I get real passionate about the things I believe in. And then like when I debate stuff with my family, I get real passionate. And sometimes I get loud, right? So they think I'm getting mad. But no, I'm passionate about what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people confuse passion for what you believe in for emotion. But I don't start launching out at hominem attacks. I don't start launching fallacies and all that other stuff. So no, there's no emotion involved. I get passionate about what I believe in. But anyway, much love, guys. Peace out.